Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich. We begin this noon with a case of road rage. You may remember a man was shot on the side of the road in front of his wife 2 years ago. Come to find out, the suspect won't face any jail time. KGW's Alma McCarty has the details behind that decision.
Nearly 2 years ago, on the drive back from the Oregon coast, a road rage incident would forever change Dennis Anderson's family. On July 13, 2022, Anderson was shot and killed just west of Grand Ronde on Highway 18. He was 45 years old. KGW spoke with his wife, Brandy Goldsberry, days after his murder.
And I don't know if I fully come to terms with the idea that he's not coming home.
When the pair initially pulled onto the highway, the suspect in the car behind them got mad and passed them. Then that suspect waited on the side of the road for the couple to pass, then tailed them aggressively, prompting Anderson to stop on the shoulder. His wife recalled what happened next.
Dennis pulled over and he stepped out of the vehicle and the car pulled up parallel to us and just started shooting. And I was in my seatbelt. I couldn't get out of my seat, fast enough, and there was just lots of shooting.
That suspect, later identified as 24-year-old Justin McAnulty, driving this black BMW, shot Anderson 9 times and sped off. On Thursday, McAnulty pled guilty except for insanity for second-degree murder. A Polk County judge sentenced him to a lifetime commitment and confinement at the Oregon State Hospital. Goldsberry delivered her victim's statement in court, which reads in part, "I watched the person I loved take his last breaths lying lifeless on gravel on the side of the road after you shot him 9 times. It seemed unreal, an eternity in one moment. I watched you holding your weapon with both hands, pulling the trigger over and over. I will never unsee that. These actions are not of man, but a monster."
That was Alma McCarty reporting. Polk County District Attorney Aaron Felton also responded to the sentencing, calling it extremely disappointing. This is what he said in a statement. While McAnulty's guilty plea at long last takes responsibility for killing Mr. Anderson, I strongly believe that he presents a risk to community safety and should be securely confined for the remainder of his life. Meantime, in Beaverton, police arrested a man suspected in a road rage incident that we told you about a little earlier this week. 33-year-old Joseph Lee is accused of threatening a woman and her kids, hitting and kicking their car before pulling out a knife and threatening to kill her. This happened last Friday on Southwest Murray Boulevard near Allen Boulevard. Police say a tip led them to Lee, who was already in jail for a second menacing incident that happened the following day. New at noon, Portland police need your help finding 3 men they say pickpocketed a 93-year-old man in Northeast Portland, then used his credit card to buy gift cards. Police think there could be more victims. Take a look at your screen. Investigators released this security footage from earlier this month. You can see the group tailing the 93-year-old man in a Costco parking lot not far from the airport. Then they steal his wallet. Police say they used the man's credit cards to purchase hundreds of dollars in gift cards at a Fred Meyer nearby. Our Blair Best is out talking to police, and we'll have more details on KGW News at 4. In the meantime, though, if you have any information on these 3 people, call Portland Police. Investigators tell us they have found 16-year-old Phoebe Van Gorder, who went missing early Wednesday morning near her home in Northeast Portland. Investigators haven't released many details at this point, but her family tells us she was taken to Randall Children's Hospital and is now safe. Time to take a quick step outside for a live look from our Wells Fargo Skycam. You can see a little bit of the wheel there. That is where the Rose City Festival will be kicking off. City Fair kicking off tonight at 5 p.m. The rides and vendor booths all set up at this point, ready to go and welcome thousands of people over the next few weekends. A different shot from our Rose City Skycam here. And a heads up, hey, if you're planning to go or if you're going to be in the area, the Hawthorne and Morrison bridges will both be closed tonight to all cars between 8 o'clock and midnight because of the fireworks show. Cyclists and pedestrians can still use the bridges, though, during those hours. Okay, meteorologist Rod Hill, now big question, is it going to stay dry for those fireworks?
Well, I mean, we've had some spritzy showers out there. That continues to be a possibility. But the bigger theme today is the fact that it's really more cloudy and cool than it is wet. And everything I'm going to show you kind of backs that up. You can see this little surge of cooler weather that's coming in on this northwesterly flow. We've had a lot more rain. I mean, they haven't had a ton, but they've had a lot more than we have had up around Seattle. Here in Oregon, I mean, look, you're just seeing little spritzes of green dots on the radar. Here's a brief shower riding the West Hills right now that could come down through downtown Portland, but generally Tualatin, Hillsboro, Troutdale, Sandy, at any given moment, your chances of finding dry weather are pretty good. So it is a travel Friday for this holiday weekend, of course. Here's Cannon Beach live. Cloudy skies. Hasn't been a lot of rain in Cannon Beach either, but they've had some. Some thinning of the clouds when you drop to the south. That's our Yaquina Bay live camera. Here's the Oregon Veterans Home out in the Dalles. They've had a little bit of sunshine, but even in eastern Oregon and the East Gorge, showers are a possibility. More of partly cloudy skies over in Sun River Resort. So folks over there finding similar temperatures to here in the valleys. You look at the downtown area and how quiet the Willamette water is. That's Portland Spirit Landing and the Tillicum Crossing. I mentioned Bend 64, actually warmer than Portland right now, 60. Salem's at 67, Pilton 66. Really, temperatures are pretty uniform across the state. So all of that to tell you, lots of dry time, might be a brief passing shower, then you go back to dry, and temperatures in the 60s this afternoon. Back to you.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, thank you, Rod. An acupuncture school in Portland's Old Town neighborhood says it's closing because of all the crime and drug use in the area. The Oregon College of Oriental Medicine has taught hundreds of students for more than a decade. But administrators there say more strangers are approaching the school and sometimes attacking students and staff. That's why they say enrollment at the school has dropped significantly in the years since the pandemic.
So we hear from prospective students that their family is counseled them against coming to Portland, whereas that used to be a draw.
So there is another side to the story. Some former students say they believe the real reason there's a drop in attendance is because of the school's cost. The school is now merging with the National University of Natural Medicine across town. To Portland State University now, where a food cart pod on campus that was set to close July 1st will now stay open. Initially, the carts couldn't afford upgrades to comply with new Portland laws requiring them to connect to sewer lines. After community feedback, though, the university says it now plans to install the infrastructure. The food cart owners have agreed to rent increases to help cover the costs.